Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 15 things you might not have known about the San Andreas Supersport Series DLC update that just arrived earlier this week. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about some tips and tricks, secret features, and hidden details that you just might not have known about and that could really help you out. So anyways, let's not waste any more time and let's get it started. The first thing we're going to be talking about today involves the brand new Vapid GB200. Which is kind of like a rally sports car. So this is a cool vehicle, and one of the cool things about this car is it has a rally lights option, which looks nice on the vehicle. Unfortunately, the rally lights don't work. Now, I do think this is a bug, as you turn on the high beams, you will see a little flicker of light, but of course, nothing stays and the lights don't work. So I'm assuming this is a bug, and I'm assuming this is something Rockstar is going to have to fix going forward in the future. Unfortunately, I don't know if this is something that requires like another DLC in order to patch, or if this is something Rockstar can do via background scripts or tunables. So it really takes away from the value of the car, just like how the Coil Brawler, its lights on top, they don't work. It really takes away from that car in my opinion. So I'd love to see Rockstar hopefully fix this soon. Unfortunately, this is a really glaring issue for me on this vehicle, that the rally lights actually don't work. Now, something that is kind of cool, a nice little touch from Rockstar, is under the trunk. So you actually have a spare tire in the trunk, and what's cool is it changes based off of the type of wheels you put on there and based on the color. So it's not just a standard stock default tire. Like, Rockstar actually changed the tire underneath the hood depending on what sort of wheel you have and what color you have on there, which is quite nice and adds sort of to the realism of this car. So that is something I do really enjoy. And the last thing I found unique about this vehicle is if you remove all of the pieces, like the doors, the trunk, the hood, you actually get an even cooler looking car. So this is something I really liked to do on the trophy truck. And the Desert Raid, you could kind of remove the exterior pieces of this car. So in order to do that, really all you need to do is find like a light pole or a tree, something hard where you can like bump the car up against. And if you remove all four of those features, it really creates like a bodiless look that almost turns it into a little go-kart. And it really does look cool. Now, it is going to remove some of the livery, but some of it will stay on, which actually kind of creates like a really cool and unique look. So I'm a big fan of this. You get to see the top parts of the wheels, they're exposed. Obviously, the entire engine is exposed too, and Rockstar have gone into great detail with the engine. All the belts, they move when the engine is moving. So this is actually something that is really cool and something you should try out for yourself. Kind of gives it a more off-roady rally vibe in my opinion, and makes the GB200 look seriously cool. So those are some cool things you can do to that vehicle that I think make it look ultra neat. Again, some features aren't that great, but most of them are pretty cool. The next thing we need to talk about involves the new Hot Ring Saber. So obviously this vehicle is really unique, very cool. And the best part about it is it has a ton of liveries, 30 of them to be exact. Now, what's pretty interesting about all these liveries is almost every single one of them are parodies or Easter eggs of pop culture, movies, TV shows, or real-life NASCAR racers. So whether it's a livery from the movie Days of Thunder, or whether it's a livery that's very similar to famous NASCAR drivers like Dale Earnhardt, you can go on here and see so many really cool references. Now, you do have to kind of be in the know with NASCAR pop culture and references in order to understand them. Otherwise, a lot of them might just go over your head, because some of them are pretty simple, like having similar matching liveries or similar paint job schemes, and that's what sort of gives it away. So I'm going to put some examples on the screen as you guys have been seeing right now, and it is really cool to see all the sort of Easter eggs Rockstar threw in here. And there's 30 of them, which is actually quite nice. Now, some of these liveries are locked. You'll notice that you have to play a certain number of Hot Ring races in order to unlock these. Well, fortunately for you, you can actually complete these solo. So if you wanted to just fly through the Hot Ring races without having to worry about other players or finishing or DNFing, you can complete the Hot Ring races solo, and they will still count to you unlocking the liveries for this vehicle. So that's actually something I was a little bit worried about, so I am glad that that's the case. And you might have noticed that this car comes with some really cool, unique tires and rims. And you might be thinking to yourself, can I change them with the iFruit app? Unfortunately, the answer is no. You cannot change the color of the stock rims on the hot Ring Saber. Now, this might be very similar to the Vigilante, where once this vehicle is available with PC mods, I'm sure you will be able to change the color of the stock rim, but normally with the iFruit app and on consoles, you won't be able to. Really unfortunate in my opinion, because those are some cool wheels, and I would have loved to made them like maybe purple or pink or blue. Like the cover-up livery I have right now, it would have been nice to maybe match one of those bright colors. Unfortunately, you cannot. I think it's one of the biggest downsides to this vehicle. All right, moving on to the next vehicle, we're going to be talking about the Cheval Taipan. And one of the cool things about this car is the rims. So the rims are pretty similar to the XA21. The secondary color actually controls the center hubcap, but you'll notice that you can't change the color of the stock rim by using primary or secondary colors. However, you can with the iFruit app. So again, this tutorial is really simple. In order to change the color of rims, you just want to pick any wheel color, and then you want to change it to the color you want. So whether that's pink or purple or white or red, and then you want to leave the Los Santos Custom Shop. Now, once you leave the LSC, what you want to do is open up the iFruit app on your actual real-life phone, and then you want to just switch back to stock rims. And once you've done that, you want to go back into the LSC, you want to fulfill your order, and these rims are really cool because they don't actually make the exterior of the rim change colors, but rather the inside of it, which gives this really cool, unique look to the car. Now, since my car was white and black, I wanted to sort of match the Cheval logo and also the taillights, so I went with a red color. And this actually turned out really great in my opinion. It gave the wheels a nice pop of color, and it made it look subtle, but still really cool at the same time. So I think you can create some awesome combinations with this, with the Cheval Taipan. And by changing the wheels and just giving it a little bit of a splash of color, you can really make your car stand out from everyone else's if you take it to car shows or you're just showing it off with friends or other crew members. All right, let's move on to another vehicle, the Volk Aloha. One thing I really like about this vehicle is the tailgate. It sort of has a unique way that it opens. The glass part up top opens upwards, and the tailgate sort of at the bottom opens downwards. I don't know, there isn't really anything all that unique about that, but I did find it pretty cool, and it's something you really don't see on a lot of cars. Most cars have a trunk that just either opens up or down. This one sort of splits in the center, which is kind of cool. I guess this is a styling of old 50s wagons like this, but I thought that was pretty unique and pretty awesome. Now, another thing that's unique about this car is one of the customization options. So one of the options that you can actually have under fog lights is to actually add something called Rally de Palito, which is a little green plate that goes right above the license plate. It says Rally de Palito, San Andreas, 1979, 1979. And you'll notice that there's sort of like a white rectangle in the center, and it has a number there for me, at least it's 74. That number changes depending on what sort of livery you put on this car. So if you have none, it changes to something simply blank. If you do Dirty 30, it changes to 30, obviously to match that. There's a lot of other ones as well, like 16, there's 74, 122, 55, 407. I'm really not sure what these numbers mean. A lot of people have been saying that this is like a conspiracy of some kind, that Rockstar want us to recognize these numbers and that they have some sort of greater meaning. Now, I'm not sure if I would go that far, like putting on the tinfoil hat, but it is kind of cool that Rockstar went to that level of detail to put that on there. And even on the rusty one, the plate becomes rusty, which is kind of cool. Now, another thing, the license plate underneath, that's pretty unique. I think there's only about a handful of cars, maybe one or two others in the game, that have a unique looking license plate like that. So it's a pretty cool car with lots of little unique customization options. So the Rally de Palito and the license plate, at least on the front, look really cool and are definitely going to set you apart from other vehicles. Moving on, another thing Rockstar did with this update is they made a change to the Chernabog. So the Chernabog was added in the Doomsday Heist, and now it has a new special feature. The Chernabog can actually tow the anti-aircraft trailer, which is kind of cool. I still think the anti-aircraft trailer really isn't all that useful, and it's kind of strange when you put it behind what is basically a drivable anti-aircraft trailer, but I think this is pretty cool. The Chernabog just became that much more valuable because now Rockstar has actually allowed you to tow the anti-aircraft trailer. It definitely looks a little awkward, and it is hard to see, but now if you want even more firepower at taking out things from the sky, use the Chernabog and the anti-aircraft trailer. Okay, moving on. The other day, a lot of people had noticed that their in-game menus had changed that allowed them to show crate drops and armored trucks on the map. And a lot of people were wondering, does this mean that armored trucks, money trucks, and crate drops are going to be returning to the game? Unfortunately, FunMW2 has some information that says this is not likely the case. He said armored trucks and crate drop events aren't coming back. They are disabled. In fact, the script for armored trucks was removed from the game. So I'm not sure why Rockstar has allowed us to now show this in lobbies. Maybe they have something going on in a future update that would explain this. Maybe this is them getting ready for the next DLC in online or something like that. I have no idea. Some people have speculated that it's going to be about another free mode event. So I'm not sure. All we know is that according to FunMW2, these events are not coming back because they are disabled. Even if you see a new menu option that allows you to show the armored trucks and the crate drops, doesn't look like they're coming back. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Something that Rockstar also fixed from the last DLC, the Doomsday Heist. Do you remember that in-game message that people were getting saying they had insufficient funds? This was actually if you had over $2 billion in-game. And we thought this was Rockstar's way to combat cheaters and hackers and glitchers, but apparently this wasn't the case because with this update, they removed that. That glitch is now no longer a thing. So if you have over $2 billion, you will no longer experience the insufficient funds glitch, which I guess you would consider a pretty good thing. And the last two things don't necessarily have to do with the new DLC, but I saw them posted around and I thought that they were pretty cool, so I wanted to include them in this video. The NPCs with cameras, they have some pretty funny settings on the inside. So one of the settings is anti-demon eyes, which is set to high. So in real life, this would obviously be like red eyes reduction, but in GTA 5 and the hipsters cameras, they call it anti-demon eyes, which I thought was pretty funny. And speaking of the Chernabog, since we have it out, one interesting use for big vehicles like this is to actually get you access to buildings that you couldn't normally reach. So there's some buildings that have like fire escapes on the outside, and if you actually pull a big truck up to it or like a Chernabog or something like that, you can actually use that to your advantage, hop on the back, and then get up on the buildings. Some buildings with rooftop access require trucks to get to them, and getting on the fire escapes is the only way to get on top unless you, of course, land a helicopter on the building. So again, that really doesn't have anything to do with the new DLC, but it is something I noticed and I thought that that was pretty cool. So anyways, that right there is 15 things you might not have known about the San Andreas Super Sport Series DLC update in Grand Theft Auto Online. If any of these tips were helpful for you, which that of course is my goal to teach you at least 1 or 2 new things, let me know in the comments down below. And also be sure to support this video by dropping a like rating on this video. That would be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, where you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.